you do some preliminary operation. So preliminary processing, you don't go into the algorithms and all. So converting a source image into a new image as a preliminary operation. So again, there are two basic ideas, methods, spatial domain methods, where we process points in space, and then frequency domain methods. So the basic reason is, for example, if lighting, the bulb and all, the lighting, the electricity power supply, when it changes, voltage changes, the brightness changes. So we would like to make it have uniform brightness so that you can have the algorithms can work the same way. So a picture taken so 1 week back and today there'll be even with the same bulb because of voltage fluctuations. Then because of the bulb itself, as time proceeds, it will slowly dim. So all these effects, it will not be exactly same. Then dust particles, all this maybe there. So all these things we do eliminate by the pre-processing. So spatial domain methods operate on directly on the pixel. If pixel is so and so condition, meets certain condition, you do some particular operation. So it is of the form g of xy. So this is the resultant. Is some transformation of f of xy. So f of xy is the original H matrix. On that, you carry out some operation T, you get another matrix G. So f of xy is the input image, that is at location x, y, what will be the intensity is given by f. So that is changed into some value G. So G of xy is the resulting image. So T is an operator on f defined over some neighborhood of xy. So T is some operation. So maybe intensity of f, you can take square of the intensity. That is one operation. And it can be defined over some neighborhood of xy. So if the neighborhood is also the same color or something like that, then it is fired. Otherwise, it is not. Some conditions can be there. That's why it is defined over some neighborhood of xy. So what is neighborhood of xy? A square or other shape subimage area centered at xy. So square is the easiest. So we prefer that. You can think of other complex neighborhoods also. Square is easiest and most common. Circle, rectangle used sometimes for a particular operation. You may use such neighborhoods also. So based on the properties of the neighborhood, you may make a decision. So you want to enhance the borders. So if the neighborhood is inside the object area, then we would like to enhance it. If the neighborhood is in the background area, maybe we should like to reduce the intensity. So accordingly, based on the condition, we may change the operation. So a 3 by 3 neighborhood of xy is, this is xy, then, so all the neighborhood includes itself. So 3 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3, 9 pixels together, which is a 3 by 3 neighborhood of xy. So 4 by 4 becomes a little tricky, and then we have to place this xy at this corner and then take 5 by 4. 5 by 5 again, one will be at the center and there will be 5 into 5. Usually, we can take 5 by 5 neighborhoods also, some applications for more filtering and all, maybe mistake. So the operation, so you move this subimage of that 3 by 3 from pixel to pixel and then carry out the operation, starting from say at the top corner, applying the operator to each location xy to yield an output E of xy. So spatial domain methods we can divide again into. So that is the general principle of all spatial domain methods. So we can have transformations, histogram processing, arithmetic or logic operations, and spatial filtering. So these are the four spatial domain methods. So transformations. In transformations, the neighborhood is 1, 1. So that means you don't consider the neighborhood. You consider that pixel. If it is a certain value, if it meets a certain condition, you do that operation. Otherwise not, or otherwise some other operation, something like that. So it is simply intensity mapping. So intensity of a one pixel, because you are not checking the neighbors, you are checking the intensity at a particular pixel. And then if it is low, maybe you make it 0, or if it is high, you make it 1. So that becomes a binary transformation. So S equal to T of R. This is the way the density transformation function will look like. Where S and R are the intensities of f of xy and g of xy at any point xy. So you don't have to bother about neighbors. Just at that point, if it needs some requirement, accordingly that T function you apply and get G. So image enhancement in the spatial domain, a gray level transformation function that is both single valued and monotonically increasing. So if R is the input function, 0, and it can vary from 0 to 1. Output also can vary only from 0 to 1. And it has to be single value. That is, if your input intensity is say 5 units, you cannot have two outputs. It has to be either 10 or it has to be 10 only. Only one value is permissible. And then this order has to be maintained. So here, if a pixel has intensity 5 and that corresponding intensity, the output is 10. For 6, it cannot be lower than 10. It cannot come down. So it has to only go up because intensity, as it goes up, here also the output image also the intensity has to only increase. So it is both single valued and monotonically increasing. So the shape of this transformation function, we can have any shape like this. So transform the 4-bit image using table in next slide. So this is an image matrix. So you have a function to transform this. So you make a table for the transformation. So that is, if input is 0, output is 0. If input is 1, output is 2. If input is 2, output is 4. So that means you are increasing the intensities. 4 becomes 8. You are just almost doubling, but after some time you are making it flat. 6 is becoming 10, 7, 11, 8, 12, 9, 13, 10, 13, 11, 14, 12, 14, 13, 14, 14, 15, 14, 15. So it is not straight. If it is straight like this, then it is the same. Input and output matrix will be same. But if the function is like this, so if the intensity of the original image is here, then intensity in the final image will be very much enhanced. This portion, if it is going up like this. Okay, if this shape is like this, the intensities in this region will be enhanced very much. So what happened is, okay, this is the previous matrix 7. So for 7, the output is 11. So like that, you can fill it with the corresponding, fill the output matrix with the corresponding values from the table. That's all. Okay, so this is the solution. So you understood this, how to get this? So just apply this table for each value of the matrix of the cell in the previous table, in the previous matrix. You check this table and replace it with the output values. That's all. So this is the relationship between these two, input and output, is shown here. Okay. Okay. So this sort of an operation is commonly used for contrast stretching. The low contrast images may happen because of poor illumination, lack of dynamic range in the sensor, and even wrong aperture setting. When you capture the photo, you did not choose the proper aperture. So, okay, this is 3-2. So this is the gray level transformation for contrast enhancement. So dark is, so originally the range of light is very small. It is mostly dark. So you make it cover from full range. So that is contrast enhancement. So this is actually binary. That is up to below M it is made dark. Above M it is made white. So your output is a binary image. So also you can do this many times. We do this. So first you capture the image as a gray level, then we convert into binary using this transformation. So contrast stretching. So for example, this was the original image, the low contrast image. So it is totally, the lighting is very poor. So you can't really distinguish between the boundaries and all. So also contrast structure. So you apply this function. So if the intensity is low, here it is engaged. But because up to here there is no pure black is also very much less, and very bright is also not there. So actually your input image has intensity only here to here. So that you enhance it to this much from here to here. So it will covering much more depth. Okay, it is covering from here to here. Input is only from here to here. Output is from here to here. So applying this transformation, you get a good image. So then this is contrast stretching. So originally that is a low contrast image. The intensity is varying from only here to here. After contrast stretching, we get a good image. It is from here to here. Zero to pure black to pure white. Then this is sort of thresholding. So thresholding is the binary to make it a black and white, pure black and white. There is only white or black. So if it is more than a certain particular intensity, it is more than this M, then it is black. If it is less than M, we make it white. So you get a binary image. So in many machine operations, this conversion to binary is the first step. Because generally cameras will capture as a gray level image, then we convert into a binary image. Then we can get the borders. And for measurement also, edges are very clear in a binary image. So that is transformation. So that is a transformations you see only, you consider pixel by pixel. Each pixel, you don't bother about what is the neighborhood. If that pixel is equal to certain amount, it is low, it is enhanced, it is high, it is suppressed, something like that. Next we come to histogram processing. Okay, histogram processing is another operation. So what is a histogram? So histogram is again a graph between a variable and its frequencies. So histograms. This is a histogram. So there's a certain variable here. So the thickness of a sheet coming out of a rolling mill or something is this. So how many of each dimension is there? 3.3, how many are there? 3.35, how many are there? 3.4, how many are there? So x-axis is any variable and y-axis is frequency. So this is a basic histogram. So similarly, we can prepare a histogram of the image matrix. The frequency of each intensity gives an image histogram. So for example, this is a image matrix. Determine the histogram of this matrix. So we find out how many are there for each value. So 0, how many are there? 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, how many are there? 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 3, 4, like that. So 0, 5 are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 0, 5, sorry. So 0, 5, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3. So this is the intensity is a variable and frequency is how many are there for each intensity. Okay. So generally we say bin from Excel and all of this bin frequency. So the histograph of an image matrix, the x-axis will be intensity and y-axis will be how many of each intensity are there. That is the frequency. So you get a histogram there, something like this is the histogram of the previous image. Okay. Understood how you got this? So what is the advantage of a histogram or use of a histogram? Histogram provides information on general appearance of an image. So whether the image is overall dark or overall bright, you can easily get from this histogram of the image. So many times in This is the Poland in previous before intensity transformation. So you can make a histogram. This is a software, Refine free software, quite powerful, very good. And a lot of people are added. So I can create a histogram. So histogram operation is a shift touch. So this is the histogram of this image. Okay. So there is something called auto correct, auto adjust colors. So it is histogram equalization. Just see the what is that. So if the image is generally dark, there will be a more number of pixels in the lower portion. So this is low intensity, there will be lot of pixels. And if it's a bright image, then there will be large number of pixels in the upper portion. So enhancement. So how do you want to adapt for changes in the image? As I said, the bulb may get, as it holds, its brightness comes down, all these things. How do you adapt for the changes in the image? Then compensate for shadows and hot spots, etc. So simple tool is histogram equalization. So that's what it is now. And a more elaborate version of that is also possible, which is called histogram specification. And then it can be applied to a local area, in which case it is called local enhancement. So histogram equalization is a transformation such that the resulting intensities are uniformly distributed. So ideally we want a uniform distribution. How does a uniform distribution look? So from lowest to highest, the intensity should be constant. Okay, so we want to get it that way. So any transformation such that the resulting intensities are uniformly distributed. That is called. So that is a histogram. So what should be the transformation? So that again there's a theorem which says that a transformation of shape equal to the cumulative distribution function of the original intensity will give a uniform distribution. So this is a theorem which can be proved. So I think it is there in the some books. And Gonzalez also, I think it is there. So that derivation. So, so the cumulative distribution function. What is the cumulative distribution function? The sum of all the intensity, the numbers. So cumulative distributions, cumulative frequencies. That is, if you have intensity 10 for intensity 0, the frequency is 10. Intensity 1, the frequency is 15. Then cumulative frequency for 1 will be 0 plus 1. So 10 plus 15, 25, like that. So cumulative means you keep on adding. I think in school and all you would have studied cumulative frequency polygon and all. So cumulative, that is a okay, one is probability density function, this is a cumulative distribution function. Okay, so example, this is so Chicho. You suppose so that is the image. Suitable for automatic enhancement, but only a uniform distribution results. So I do auto adjust colors. This actually, so it is not very good. We can actually take a region here, what is this, and then do image auto adjust colors. Now it is coming like this. So what happens is it is not really able to capture the. So this is region based. I do equalization for region separately. If I do for all together, it is not able to detect. Even though also just did not come out now. So maybe this region I know not effective. This is totally black. Image auto just colors. Now it has gone. Like this, then this profile also has black. Auto just colors. Just colors. Now it has gone. So like this, you do it on a partial scale. So this is the magnetic resonance image MRI scan of a fractured human spine. I don't know where is the spine and all that. Maybe only doctors know. So here this portion is not clear. So how do we see this portion? So that's why we can do. If you simply apply histogram equalization, still it is not working as we are seeing earlier. If you apply histogram equalization towards the entire image, then it is not able to improve this. So be it to the results of applying the transformation equation, C equal to 1 minus particular original image. Okay, so by using, so that is histogram specification, intensity histogram of image after transformation is specified. Finding the required transformation is not. So you want to, finally after transformation, what is the required histogram that is specified? So that is histogram specification. So what transformation will give the desired histogram of the transformed image? That finding out is not so simple. That is only problem with this approach. So local enhancement. So equalization and specification methods are global. Results may not be satisfactory. So one solution is local enhancement. You apply in a region by region. So that's what I did actually now. So okay, original image, sort of global histogram equalization. So it is not able to identify the region here, transfer, improve the region in here. It's still black. But we want to get this small dot and boundary. So that can be obtained by local histogram equalization. Okay, that is okay. Laptop please figure 323. Three. Three is not that one. It's missing. So, sorry, that's what the age of three. So, okay, so you can download these images directly from this Gonzalez book site and try out with from any software. Even Photoshop is also good. So, Photoshop, I tried installing it is very big. It makes the total computer slow. So, I stop that. Instead, use FunView is quite good enough for most basic operation. FunView is there. Or MATLAB also, instead of using MATLAB again, MATLAB is also once you install your computer slows down. So I found Octave, that's a free MATLAB equivalent, which is, I think we discussed last semester in the first definition of our Octave functions, which is all MATLAB functions will work in Octave. So this is local advantage. You divide into region. In each region, you apply histogram equalization. So histogram equalization is advantage is automatic. You don't have to do anything. So this is the application of local histogram. You apply histogram equalization of this region, and you can get enhance this boundary as well as the center span. So next we come to arithmetic logic operations. So this is performed on a pixel by pixel basis between two or more images. So arithmetic means addition or logic. So you apply some logic. You add two images together or find the difference. So sum or difference all comes arithmetic. And logic is maybe union. You combine, you mix up. So you add one more object onto an image. So all such things are through arithmetic logic operations. The operators are and, or, and not. So image subtraction is also. So you want to remove some object in the image, so dust particles and all. So then you remove that. So if in that region you decide that it should be the background, so the color should be equal to the background. Then it is subtraction. So then finally we come to spatial filtering. So also templates, windows and masks. So this is a big area by itself. So filtering is actually slightly different from the other filtering. I mean, in filtering what we do. So it is like straining tea. You put the tea in a filter and the tea dust will remain in the strainer. So that is the basic idea of filter. So, but here there is a slight difference. So it looks like a shape, looks like a filter. It's an array. So it's also the strainer is this template, window, or mask. So different books are using different terminologies. Be careful. And my journal papers are sometimes it will be confusing. So from the case, from the how it is used, you have to understand what is the evolving meaning filtering. So this window or mask is a small 3 by 3, example 3 by 3, can be 4 by 4, 5 by 5. Two-dimensional array whose coefficients determine the nature of the process. So multiply each coefficient with the corresponding pixel intensities and something, some sort of averaging. And then, so you are multiplying something, so you subtract, divide by a constant to avoid intensities going out of range. So this whole together is the filtering operation. For example, so this is the original image. So this is the image matrix. So you are applying this filter onto this. So here this is all -1, this is 8. So that means center is enhanced very much. All the others are subtracted, so it's reduced. So this is something like to determine a border. So if you see this image, how does it look like? These are all low pixels, and here we have an L-shaped with very bright L shape is there. Okay, so we want to enhance this boundary. So all others should come down. These should get enhanced. So we can apply this. So this you place over this region. And then multiply corresponding terms. So 7 into -1, 3 into -1, 6 into -1, 5 into -1, 4 into 8, 15 into -1, 3 into -1, 15 -1, 16 into -1. So this is a 3 by 3 sharpening filter. So this filter results in a sharp image. The borders are made pretty sharp. That means near the boundary, this region here and all it will be reduced, but the inside the object it will be increased. So you apply this mask onto this matrix. So you place that matrix over here, multiply the corresponding terms, and then take the average, take the sum, and divide by some value to get back to the original intensity. So this is -38. So image matrix, the values intensity cannot come down below 0. So the lowest probability is 0. So what about border? So limit expressions of the center of the mask to be at a distance of no less than n-1 by 2 pixels from the border. So we cannot place the center or the border. Then it has to go out. So you limit the expressions of the center of the mask at a distance of no less than n-1 by 2 pixels from the border. Okay, so if the n equal to 3, 3 minus 1 is 2 by 2 is 1 pixel from the border. So you have to keep it slightly 1 pixel inside, and then only you carry out the operation. So the result is that you have to reduce the image size by 1 pixel on all sides. So this is one way. And another way is you can pad the image by rows or columns and strip out the padding after filtering. So this is done in some software and all they do this also. You first increase the image by adding some rows and columns, and then afterwards you remove that. Because otherwise what happens, the image size is reduced. So that's a problem. If originally itself image size is small, then if you do further use several rows and columns, then it is not, the data is lost. So we don't prefer to do this in some cases. So in such cases, you can first enhance it by padding and then carry out the filter or mask operation. So you repeat this at, so first we place the matrix in this position, next we place this, then we place here, and then we place it. So like that one by one find out. So this, if you place this, it is 59. So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, 8, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. So here it was originally, okay, the center is here, 15. So 15 gets enhanced, becomes 59. And then we place the mask here, bottom left corner. So here it was 15. After transformation, it becomes 64. And finally here 16, after transformation, it becomes 66. So the result is this L shape is remaining but enhanced, and this portion becomes 0. But since we have not done padding, the image size is reduced. So one row and one column on top and bottom both are lost. If you have large number of cells, then it may not matter much. But if you are small, then we are losing so much data. Okay, so this, that particular, so by using different types of matrices for the mask, we can get different properties. For smoothing, so many times we have to do smoothen the edges. So neighborhood averaging, median filtering, image averaging, and another set is for smoothing binary images. So this is again a common operation carried out using this sort of masks. So these are all different types of masks are used for different operations. So neighborhood averaging generates a smooth image GFXY whose intensity at every point SY is obtained by averaging the intensity values of the pixels in a predefined neighborhood of XY. So replace the intensity at any pixel by taking the average of all the pixels, including that pixel and the neighborhood. So result is neighborhood average. The g of xy is f of n comma m, such that n comma m belongs to some size, and then take their average divided by t. That is a neighborhood average. For example, 1/3 is figure 4. So this is 2 3x3 smoothing average filter masks. So this is simply 1 by 1. That means it gives equal weightage to all the pixels. This is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and center of 4. So center is enhanced, borders are attached. The constant multiplier in front of each mask is 1 by 16 and 1 by 9 is equal to the sum of the values of its coefficients. That is, as it is required to compute an average. So 1 plus 2, 3 plus 1, 4, 6, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16. So this 16. So whatever, when you are multiplying this and adding, so you are increasing by 16. So you reduce by 16 by dividing by this 16. So this is, so for example, here we have a standard image and results of smoothing with square averaging filter masks of sizes n equal to 3, 5, 9, 15, 35 respectively. So what happens? This is with the 3 by 3 mask. This is with 5 by 5. This is 9 by 9. This is 15 by 15. This is 25 by 25. Respectively, their borders are 25 pixels apart. The letters at the bottom range in the fonts. Okay, so when you do neighborhood, what happens? It becomes overall becomes averaged out. Okay, so this noise is removed by this technique. Okay, so dust particles etc. can be filtered out by this. So here we have a lot of noise. So here to do this filtering, it becomes a smooth single block. Okay, all of become equal. So that is the how you can apply this filter. So 3/3 smoothing filter, not the constant occurrence. So this is the result of the transformation. So image. This is an image from the Hubble Space Telescope. So many times we can't do much. The lighting, whatever is available, I think we have to use and take the photograph. For example, astronomy and all, we cannot light up the stars, isn't it? So whatever the picture we get from that, then we have to do some processing and obtain better fit. So you want to find out so how many stars are there. So image from Hubble Space Telescope, image processed by 15 by 15 average mass, followed by threshold. So B, thresholding B. This is average. So then small dots are lost. So small particles, the noise particles, very small anyway we don't want to, we cannot get. So we want to eliminate them. So instead of doing it manually, we can do this by automatically by this image average. So after averaging, the small pixels are disappearing. Then you do thresholding, you can get how many big objects are there. For small objects, anyway, we cannot do anything. So we are interested in size of these big objects and their position. We want to find out the distance between these. All this can be calculated. So first, we want to eliminate this by noise reduction operation. So another good method for reducing this, what is called salt and pepper noise, is median filtering. The intensity of each pixel is replaced by the median of intensities in the neighborhood of the pixel. So, one intensity, what should be the intensity that is replacing? It depends on the intensity, median of the intensities of all the pixels in that neighborhood. So, what is median? We have discussed now. We are going to see. So, median is middlemost number. So, if you have numbers 3, 4, 5, what is the median? 4. So if median, if you have numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, what is the median? So then if the number is even, we say it is the middle between the middle two. So 4 and 5 is the middle, and half of midway between that is 4.5. So 4.5 is the median of 3, 4, 5, 6. So each neighborhood, you list out the values and take the median and replace all the pixels. It is all has to depends on the case by case. Okay, some cases median filtering is good. Some cases averaging is good enough. Excel image of circle. This is that. An image averaging captures several images of the same scene in same position. You take several photographs and then by averaging, it becomes the noise particle will be random. So in noise particles, in one image it will be if it is at one point, next image it will be at different point. So it will cancel out. And when you add up average, it will become 0. So each will be corrupted noise. Take the average of the pixel values corresponding to each pixel location. So that is image average. Then smoothing binary images. So binary images are two-valued images that result from using backlighting or from thresholding processes, etc. So we have this intensity transformation. We can convert an image into a binary image. If it is above a certain threshold, you can replace it with 1. If it is below, it is replaced with 0. So how do we smoothen a binary image? So the result has to be only 1 or 0. So depending on the spatial arrangement of binary various surface. So there are some standard binary smoothing operations. So fill in small unpixel holes in otherwise dark areas. So some small white dots are there, otherwise dark area. How do we remove them? That is through the binary smoothing operation. Fill in small notches in spectral segments. Eliminate isolated ones. So eliminate small bumps along straighted segments, small deviations from straight line. All this can be eliminated using replacing missing corner points. So all are binary smoothing. So that completes. Okay, the spatial domain. Next is frequency domain methods. Because frequency domain is very complex, and because it has been done live with computer, then only it is workable. So I just briefly introduce you frequency. What is frequency domain? So we have time domain and frequency domain. So time domain here becomes space domain, spatial domain and frequency domain. So compute the Fourier transform. So what we do is we first convert the image into its Fourier transform. So what is Fourier transform? So you know a function, any function is replaced by a sum of sine and cosine terms. So that is several periodic functions add up together to get the original function. Okay, so what we do is after doing that, we get a Fourier. We get various frequencies, certain with some certain wavelengths. So if you want to eliminate the high frequencies, so like in JPG transformation, we are not interested in the high frequency data because our eye cannot distinguish the small changes which happen at very high frequency. So that can be eliminated. So that is, so multiplying the result by a filter transfer function, and then, so first you convert into Fourier transform, apply some operation, and then transform back to the original format, like the inverse transform. So this is the sequence of Fourier transform. So for image, actually, we have two axes, x and y axis. So it is a two-dimensional Fourier transform. So the image Fourier transform can be expressed in this form. So original image is small f of x, right? After transformation, you get capital F of mu v. So u equals 0 to 1 to 2 to m minus 1, v equals 0 to m minus 1. Okay, so this is the inverse transformation. So first you convert it to Fourier series, Fourier transform, and then you invert it back to get the original image, but after removing some high frequency data, etc. So that is Fourier transform. So examples. So this is a function at the bottom is some of these several functions are there which are periodic functions. So this is a sum of all these functions. So Fourier transform. So this is the intensity, and so when you convert it to Fourier transform, we have a number of waves, and the sum of that will be the original. So you can get various transformed data. This is spectrum, Fourier spectrum. Basically, you show twice the number of non-zero points and this Fourier spectrum. So you eliminate this high frequency data we cannot see, we eliminate it and then take inverse Fourier transform to get back the original function. So image of a white rectangle on a black background. So centered Fourier transform shown after application of the clock transformation. So some image of a damaged integrated circuit, Fourier spectrum of a original image. So this Fourier spectrum is also an image. In Fourier transform applications, descriptors are boundary shape, detecting object motion, image reconstruction, enhancement, restoration, etc. So this is the original image. So you do a Fourier transform, then high frequency eliminate, and then go back to get better image. Okay, so that is Fourier transformation applied to images. The next chapter is segmentation. Well, I think we'll wind up today because there are a lot